Listen, good evening, my beautiful butterflies and fly guys. Listen, I know that you're ready to get into tonight's discussion. So without pause, let's get to it. Now, as we are heading into the NBA Finals this week, everyone's still discussing what some may consider an injustice in that Miami Heat role player Caleb Martin should have been chosen as the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals instead of, get this, Jimmy Butler. So let's take a look at this for a moment. So if you are an armchair commentator or sports anchor, because I know we have many out there, or know of anyone who is, and you think you might want to be a part of this discussion, or that they will want to be a part of this conversation, right now, if you would just be so kind, tag them, or at least share this live show with them, and I'll give you a moment to do so. So AB, while they are telling Lottie-Dottie and everybody that we are live, let me ask you, are you ready, AB? All right, let's get it. Hit it. Yeah, in the building. HeSpoke Fashion. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. And I'm glad that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation. And as I said in my opening monologue, there are actually many in the sports world that are still discussing the fact that Caleb Martin, now it's already past the Eastern Conference Finals, but people are still discussing and really rehashing the moment when he was not crowned the Eastern Conference Finals MVP of this coveted trophy. Now, why is that? And that's simply because many feel that he deserved it over Jimmy Butler. So let's look at what we know. Okay, what do we know? When we look at Jimmy Butler, and because people are having this argument, we must deal with what we know concerning Jimmy Butler. And when we look at his play this season, we must admit that this guy, my dude, has been straight balling, all right? He's been straight balling. We must admit that. If we were only to look at his stats from this year, okay, if we're looking at those stats there at the bottom of the screen here, if we look at those, we will see that he averaged 28.5 points per game this season alone. And we all know that he is a 6-time All-Star. And although he did not get the All-Star votes this year, we know that this was mainly due to the fact that he missed time because of his injuries. But because of his stats, again, one could surmise that in order to defeat the Miami Heat, one must find a way to contain Jimmy Butler, not Caleb Martin. Now, it would not be strange, for me at least, if a head coach would not build his strategy around this course of action. In the case of many teams throughout the Eastern Division, the more they felt it possible to contain Jimmy Buckets, as they call him, the more they planned on winning. So if you could only but contain Jimmy Butler, then the scales may weigh in your balance or in your favor, if you were able to contain him. So what we know is that we now know that the Boston Celtics strategy was to minimize the points in the offense of not Caleb Martin, but Jimmy Butler. So it would mean that every time Jimmy Butler would get the ball, and you guys watch the game, so you know this to be true. You watch the finals, you watch the conference finals, and every time he would get the ball, you notice that defenses would collapse around him because the strategy was, if we can just keep Jimmy Buckets from scoring, then we will win the game. And what that meant was that some other, get this, role player would then have to step up in order to defeat them. The role player. And that role player was, in my humble opinion, Caleb Martin. Now listen, family, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a role player. And we now know that Caleb, in this role, was a catalyst that helped his team. Now, I've been a role player. I can remember a time with me and a good friend of mine, who I will just say at this moment will remain nameless to protect the innocent. He's in the witness protection program. But there was a time I was a role player where, we would go out and, I would play the role, and I would go to the young lady and I would say, hey, I would have a conversation and maybe compliment, and then I would say, hey, you know what? My friend, he really thinks you're all that, and he wants to talk to you. And they would think, well, I thought it was you. No. Someone far greater than I. I'm the forerunner. The forerunner. I was the role player. And this was the role that I believe Caleb Martin had in these conference finals. And the Heat, again, officially sealed a win against the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series when they took, in that final game, a 103-84 victory. Shout out to my cousin Lester Rayford, who is a diehard Boston Celtics fan. I know. But look, they took that victory at TD Garden on Monday. And here is what many would consider to be a determining factor in the voting for the MVP in that Miami forward. Jimmy Butler, of course, led the Heat with 28 points in 43 minutes. He hit 12 of his 28 shot attempts, again, as he fought his way through Boston's defense, which I believe was strategically planned to limit his offense. And for tries in the paints and contested looks on the wings and the right corner, this is the way that any MVP will find a way, find his spots so that he can contribute to the offense. And that's what the MVP player did. But again, Miami's supporting cast played an essential role in keeping the Heat ahead of the Celtics for that crucial win. And you know what? That forward, Caleb Martin, again, he finished the night with 26 points and 10 rebounds, and again, just under 45 minutes. We said that Jimmy Butler had 28 and 43 minutes, and he was just under 45 minutes with 26 points and 10 rebounds. That means he was hustling. But that is the reason that Jimmy Butler, again, is the Eastern Conference Finals most valuable player. That's the reason. It is because, and again, this is in my humble opinion, but now I know that there are those who may disagree with me. I know that there are those who may disagree, may find it that Caleb Martin deserved to have that MVP trophy for the Eastern Conference Finals. And so I want to give you, if you're someone who disagrees with me, I want to give you an opportunity tonight to speak your piece. And I want you to argue with me. I want you to have this conversation with me if you disagree. So, AB, I want you to watch the chat for anyone who may want to dispute my reasoning for Jimmy Butler being chosen the MVP as we continue to go throughout the show. Is that all right? Can you do that for me, AB? Okay, great. I want to make sure that you're clear. You have the opportunity to challenge me. If you are an armchair commentator or sportscaster, then please, if we see you in the comment section, we're going to send you the link so you can come on and join us, all right? So what do we know, right? What we know, and we know now that it was really a close race, as the voting shows that Butler won by a slim margin of, get this, only one vote. 5-4 was the voting. And looking at the voters, I would wonder who the deciding factor was. If we were to take a look at these names listed here for these voters, and I could just imagine, and I think I'm pretty sure of myself in this, if I were a gambling man, I would bet that Reggie Miller's vote for Jimmy Buckets was the deciding vote. Now, it would take, in my opinion, someone who understands being the focal point of any defense to cast their vote for the player who had the same fight as they did. What do you think, guys? Do you think Reggie Miller was the deciding vote? Reggie Miller, through the course of his career, was often targeted because they knew way before there was a Steph Curry, there was a Reggie Miller, and he could kill him on that three-point line. So what did they do? They sent people to push him off or to run him off the three-point line. They didn't care if he hit a layup. They knew that his weaponry included that three-point shot. And that was what made Reggie Miller great. And I'm certain that he knows that if you are the target, the focal point of any defense, and you're able to push through and score and contribute as Jimmy Buckets did, you deserve the MVP. Now, while Jimmy Butler deserved the MVP, in my humble opinion, he did, Caleb Martin was deserving of an MVP as well. That's right. And so that is why tonight I'm going to give you 3 reasons why NBA player Caleb Martin is the real MVP in fashion. That's right. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. He's not getting fresh, y'all. No. He's Caleb Fresh. That's what we're going to call him tonight. He's Caleb Fresh. And listen, while this is HeSpoke Fashion, so we're going to discuss fashion, and we found fashion with Caleb Martin. And get this, guys, while we all can't be the MVP in one area of our lives, what we black men need to learn is that this doesn't preclude you from being an MVP in other areas. You can be an MVP in another area. So what do we know? What we know now is that Caleb Martin has an interesting story regarding his journey to the NBA. So let me just give you a bit of background. We also know that he was an undrafted player who was once waived by the Charlotte Hornets. I bet y'all wish y'all had him now. Come on, MJ, what you gonna do, man? Are you gonna sell the team? I mean, can we get some wins in my home state of North Carolina? Can we get... Bruh. Okay. Lord forgive me, I digress. But anyhow, I mean, listen, he was with the Charlotte Hornets, and of course, again, he was waived before arriving to the now Eastern Conference Finals winner, the Miami Heat. Now, how he arrived at the Heat is a story in and of itself. And you know what? I want to allow, if you guys would allow me, I want to allow Caleb Martin to tell us himself what occurred to get him there. Will you guys allow me to do that? All right. Let's see what Caleb had to say about his journey to the Miami Heat.
Whole J. Cole story, okay? This Grammy award-winning rapper, and your guys' relationship and how he got in touch with Karan Butler, set up, kind of a tryout for you essentially with his team. Can you give us the details from your perspective?
Yeah, I've been cool with Jay. With Cole for a minute, and I was just working out in his gym pretty much the whole entire time when I got away from Charlotte, and he was wondering. He kept asking me every day because he see me every day, and he just kept asking me why I haven't been signed, why I'm not with a team working out in their facility, and I just kept telling him nobody, I haven't got a chance yet, and so he just went straight to his contact.
All right, now you heard it from the horse's mouth. You understand now that it was a by chance friendship and his consistent routine of working out to perfect his craft that turned into this opportunity with the Heat. This is why I tell young men and black men all the time that we need to continue to work on our friendships, not with everybody else, but with one another. That's right. We need to continue to invest in our friendships with each other. Black men, when you see another black person at your job, listen, it doesn't hurt you to speak to that black man and even offer an olive branch towards friendship, or at least a pathway towards friendship. Listen, even if, and I know it's hard, guys, I know it's hard, even if you bump into a guy out there on the street that looks like you, it's okay to say hello or what's up or give him the head nod or whatever, the fist bump or whatever you need to do to try to become friends with each other. We need to do that. You know what? I even find it interesting that some of you, now, AB, I'm gonna say it tonight. I'm saying it. Some of you, once you find a woman, once you get with your boo, some of you will even cut off all your friends. And look, I agree. You should perhaps cut off the bad friends, right? You should cut them off, but you should also keep hold of the good friends. And in Caleb's case, his friendship with J. Cole, right, proved to be beneficial. Now, how many friendships, let me ask you, have you disposed of that could have been an asset to your life? Now, I'm not going to just stay on my fly guys here, because the same thing goes for my beautiful butterflies that may be watching. Let me just say this to you. Just because you get your new boo, that does not mean you should throw away all your girlfriends. Now the ones that are 304s, you should absolutely throw them away because they are dusty. But any guy who would tell you to rid yourself of all your girlfriends, I would recommend you throw him away instead. AB. Oh my God, that's funny. You throw him away, right? Listen, I think. We had a. Shout out to cuz Gary Murray. Listen, the truth of Caleb Martin was the hero. I agree. I concur that he was the hero of Game 7. However, I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that the MVP trophy goes to the MVP of the entire series, right? So I think you're right on it. Believe me, I didn't know who Caleb Martin was, but I know who he is now. So do many of us. So we see that, again, we need to work on our friendships, and we see that this is what gave him his upper hand, so to speak. Then we find that it was his work ethic. His work ethic. I love this quote. It says, "Today I will do what others want, so tomorrow I can do what others can't." Brothers, we got to get our work ethic up. Listen, I came from a family of hard-working men. I've talked to you before about my father, who has who served 30 years in Uncle Sam's army. I've come from my grandfather who worked all the days. I mean, did I say all the days of his life? He was working till his change came. No, I'm sorry. But I'm saying he really and truly instilled my mother and my father. My mother was an educator, a school teacher for a number of years. And I'm telling you, a work ethic is something that will separate you from others. Having a good work ethic. And I remember I was sharing here recently how many times, they used to say, Michael Jordan, he's such a gifted, he's just a God-gifted talent. And they would allow people to say you were just gifted and talented, and they would disregard your work ethic. And I'm so glad in this new era that they are now saying, LeBron James came out before the game and he shot 200 three-pointers. He shot 300 layups. They're talking about the work ethic. And you want to be able to say that your work ethic is impeccable. And I believe if you would just continue to look to better your work ethic, you'll see changes in your career. You'll see growth in your life just by doing so. And this is what I believe that Caleb, through his friendship, through his work ethic, and here we're going to see that he had a willingness, and this is important, guys, to not miss his moment. This is one thing that you have to do. You can't afford to miss another moment. Let's look at this quote. "Life is not measured by time. It is measured by moments." That's right, moments. And you can't afford. You may waste time, but you can't afford to miss a moment. Let me say that again. You may be wasting your time, but when you see that moment, don't let that moment pass you by. Don't miss your moment. And Caleb Martin took advantage of his moment. What was his moment? He's playing in the biggest games of his life. And what did he do? You know how the church folks say, he showed up and he showed out. He showed up and he showed out. And listen, to all you Miami Heat fans, I know you're hoping that he does the same starting tomorrow night. We'll see. So let's stay tuned. But you know what? What got him where he is today are these things. And for that, in my opinion, he is already winning. His work ethic, his friendships, and his desire, his willingness to not miss a moment. He's already winning. But how now is he the real MVP in fashion? So you know what? Let's take a look at Caleb's drip, and then we can answer that question. As we see here, I mean, very casual. I like the look. It's clean. It's a nice look. Let's look at another. Now, this look, all right? This is so 2023. I'm telling you, it's right here, right? Now here, guys, is the first reason why Caleb Martin is the real MVP in fashion. And that is because It is not what you wear when you're dressing for an occasion, but what you wear when you're not. Now, don't get it twisted. Your day-to-day fashion is just as important as your special event attire. Some of you are really, I would say, high on what you wear when you're going out for what we consider a quote-unquote to-do. But when we catch you at a casual setting, your fashion is simply way off. And we see that Caleb has learned the difference between the two and has kept his drip on fleek. So I happen to like, again, you don't always have to wear, guys, you don't have to wear slacks and loafers. But you can wear some jeans and maybe not too ripped, but certainly those will rip perfectly with some nice dunks, and you can keep it moving. That's a good look. But this drip, AB, can I rock this look? Can I rock it?
Bruh.
Well, what do you think, Grogu? You think I can rock it? What? What'd you say? Grogu said he could rock it better. You probably could, Grogu. I'm going to let you have that one. Go on there. But listen, if you didn't notice, in this photo, I want you to look closely. I want to see if you guys can catch this. In this photo, here lies another reason Caleb Martin is the real MVP in fashion. Now, I want you to look closely here, because it is Caleb's attention to detail that gives him the MVP he so rightfully deserves. Look, I want you to know that accessories provide interest to your outfit. That belt that has the nice buckle is an accessory. And then it provides interest. People want to know who you are and what you're wearing simply because of the accessory. And without them, you run the risk of getting bored with your wardrobe. And accessories extend the life of your clothes and familiar ensembles. So the accessories that he rocks in this outfit, they simply kill. Listen, I was just on the phone with a friend and other people I did not know up until then. I was familiar with one of them, but I did not know until they were part of the conversation and part of the call. Nevertheless, on this call, they were discussing a particular item that I wore to a sneaker ball here recently. And one of the gentlemen there said, hey, they've already put you all over Facebook and people have already seen you in that item of clothing. So you probably aren't going to be able to wear it again. I said, not so fast, because I know how to change my accessories so that I can wear it again. See, that's how you keep from having the same boring outfits over and over again if you were to change those accessories. From the arm accessories, right? Let's check out this photo of Caleb again. So from the arm accessories to the cross over pouch that he has, and check it out, to the chain with the large medallion. All I say is that Caleb is a man who pays attention to detail. Now, guys, listen, hear me close. That doesn't mean you should go out and purchase all the jewelry you can in order to meet this reason, all right? Because I don't want anybody going out there looking like Mr. T. and say, I pity the fool. No. But I don't want you saying that HeSpoke Fashion told me this is the real MVP look. No. I don't want you to do that. But again, knowing how to pay close attention to detail and find the proper accessories makes, in my opinion, Caleb Martin the real MVP. But listen, here is the final reason Caleb Martin is the real MVP in fashions, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is the final reason. You know what? Let me see if you can guess the reason as we peruse these photos. And AB is ahead of the game. She's already got his drip up, and I love it. So if we look at this outfit, we notice a few things about his drip on this particular outfit. Again, he's wearing the crossbody bag. I love it. I love the look. Mr. T. That's right, Mr. T. I'll tell you, I used to love Mr. T. And you know what? I don't know if he was in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most jewelry, but somebody Google that for us and put it in the chat if he won for that, because I know he wears a lot, my friends. He wears a lot. But in this, can you guess? Can you guess what the reason is? Let's look at another photo, AB, if you will. All right. I love the look. What'd you say, AB? Yes. I mean, hey, listen, no better way to let people know what you do than to place it right there on your shirt, right? Let's look at another. Yes. I'm telling you, the drip is on fleek. Listen, did you guess the reason? If so, let me hear from you in the comment section. If you guess, all right? I'll give you a minute. If you guess what the reason is that he's the MVP. For those of you who did not guess, I want to go ahead and share it with you. And I'll share it with you momentarily. Grogu, I know you got it because I'm looking at your drip right now. And you do this every outfit you have on, every outfit you wear. And you know what? I love you for it. You love me too? Ooh. All right. Oh. Ah, that's my guy. Listen, did you guess it? Okay, guys, time is up. Time is shmoney. As Cardi B says, time is shmoney. The final reason Caleb Martin is the real MVP in fashion, in my opinion, is because of his fearlessness in wearing colors. That's right. You notice all the colors. The way this guy rocks these colors and still maintains his masculine energy and aura is to be applauded. AB, do we have any applause? Do we have any? If you could just get some applause. Yes. You know, it's difficult in this climate to get away with wearing colors without someone associating it with the Rainbow Coalition, better yet known as that community, all right? But Caleb, he does it well. But listen, guys, listen. When it comes to color, let me offer you this advice. And I think AB just had it up there, but if you could put it back up there, I believe it was Coco Chanel who said it best. And that is that the best color in the whole world is the one that looks good on you. Do you know your color? If you don't know your color, even if it's one of my beautiful butterflies, go back and check one of the episodes that I did. Maybe we'll put the link down here. But nevertheless, if you check that, it will tell you what colors mesh with your skin tone. All right? So take the time to explore different colors and find the one that looks good on you. But listen, until then, simply wear them all. That's what I do. Not at the same time, guys, but I do wear them all. I don't want you to wear all. You don't have to look like a Skittle or the whole bag. You just try one at a time or two at a time or even three at a time. But find your colors. And listen, enjoy your fashion. All right, guys. I have really enjoyed you all on tonight. And listen, shout out to Gary Murray. I appreciate you rocking with me tonight in the comment section and all the others that may join even later. Listen, guys, take time out to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because you want to be notified, even with the alarm bell, every time it is that we go live. But I really and truly enjoyed this show tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. But again, that's all I have for you tonight. I want you to have a good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. Hey, the game is on Thursday. Maybe Caleb Martin has another time to be the MVP. All right? See you next time. Hope you will join us there. Yeah. In the building. My man. Leave your questions and comments, and remember, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I really appreciate you all for watching. Please take time to follow us on Facebook, and if you really like this episode, what you think, leave your questions and comments.